Come on, mom, 22 grand. I stay dripping on fam. You losing my mind. You come in my mind. You don't like what you'll find. Getting real. I used to spark your seal. That's how I know you feel. I flood your wrist. That's Richard Mill. Ducking the ops. That's Navy SEALs. And we're back with another episode of Behind the Artist, where we make the unknown known. Today we're with guitarist Grant Mayo from Chimpanzees and Cigarettes. Everybody say what's up to Grant. Woohoo, yeah.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, no problem. What's up, man? How are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Tired from school, tired from music. We got a gig coming up this Saturday at Rising Silo.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're just working pretty hard at that right now. So
that's awesome.
Grind.
So you know what? We'll start with the basics. What brought you to music? Tell us your musical journey.
Oof. It's a loaded question right there, man.
For sure. No, we got a lot to unpack.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I don't know. My whole family's always been pretty big into music. My dad plays drums. My uncle, one of them at least, plays piano. Another plays bass. It was just kind of like brought on at a young age, I guess, you know. Then I really started getting into like listening to different kinds of music. Like I remember when I first heard the Chili Peppers, and that was like this whole new sound to me. And then I wanted to play just like Flea, so I picked up the bass, and that's where I started like to play like an actual instrument. And then
so you started with bass.
Yeah. I used to be a bass player. Used to love to slap. Like that was my favorite thing in the world. And then, you know, everybody has like that first band where like you go and you jam with a couple friends. Like I played bass for that. And the guy who was playing guitar, I was just like, I'd rather be that guy. So I dropped it, you know, switched to guitar. And that wasn't until like my senior year of high school. But once I did that, everything started to just work out for me because I started to take like these music theory classes, and I got really big into that. And I just started learning like why everything works out.
Yeah. You know, that's where a lot of people like spring off from, guitar to the music theory, then to like pianos and things like that.
Exactly.
I'm very surprised that you actually started off with bass, but then went to guitar and then took that jumping off point. That seems like, I don't know. I've normally, when I hear it, and obviously I might be a small sample size, but I've got it from guitar to bass, back to guitar again, just because of their passion, and then to bouncing off, kind of like one of my friends Carson did.
Gotcha.
A lot like that. Yeah. So no, keep going. You sprung into music theory
in my senior year. Yeah.
Okay. In your senior year.
Yeah, I was taking a class actually through high school. Like they just offered this music theory class. Started with that, and then started, you know, reading up on my own time, like at home and stuff. And slowly, I just, you know, learned it all, I guess, or as much as I know now, you know.
Yeah. Tell us some interesting things about music theory. I know last pod we had Neil on, and Neil's
really?
One of your friends. Yeah. Last pod we had Neil on. We talked a lot about music theory. You want to expand just some things, some knowledge, nuggets of knowledge, or anything that you find interesting?
Yeah. So to be honest with you, I've been big into like harmonic analysis right now, which is just studying like why certain chords will fit together in certain progressions, and like what melodies will flow over top of that best. And I'm really big into like using these chords because, you know, obviously we're writing music for the band. I'm really big into using these chords that are outside of the key. And so like the Neapolitan chord is one of my favorites right now. That can be used as like a major 3. So like in the key of C major. Also stop me if I'm getting too technical.
We like technical around here. Keep going.
Gotcha. Love it. So in the key of C major, obviously you have like major 1, C major. Your next chord would be D minor, the 2.
Yeah.
E minor, the 3. F major, the 4. G would be the 5. A minor is the 6. B diminished would be the 7. So if you take that E minor and you make it major, then that would become, you know, a major 3 chord, and it brings out like this like new flavor, or like even like this new sound that's just so nice. You know, it's really
you'll hear it a lot. Not even it's what was it that they use it a lot? I can't remember. It's like diminished chord. Man. Anyways, throw it away right now, but yeah, it's super interesting in music to hear that one little key change, that one little note change that'll literally spice up the whole song.
And it really
Tyler uses it a lot. Tyler the Creator, he uses it a lot. Yeah. But yeah, so you went from music theory in senior year of high school to college, and what are you doing now? What besides the band? We'll get to the band a little bit later.
All right, gotcha. So, what am I doing now? I mean,
Yeah,
to be honest
musically.
with you, quarantine hit. Obviously, like
Yeah.
was just stuck inside. My parents were real strict on that, so pretty much I was not allowed to leave, and I would just play guitar. I worked on my solos a lot. I'm a big improv guy. Like
Mm,
I love to just rather than learn a given solo, like learn like how can I hear what's going on behind that original solo and like make it my own. Does that make sense?
mm-hmm. Let's you know what? Let's dive into that. Were you in band in high school?
No.
So I was in band in high school, and our teacher actually taught us to improv solos all the time. So
Right.
we
Yeah.
never had set solos ever. So we would set out maybe 4 bars. We'll repeat those 4 bars in the background, but we have one person soloing at all times.
And you do
And
like a
we
little
would
right, right?
Yeah, exactly. We
Exactly.
would cycle through. It was a jazz band, and it's just so interesting to teach your ear where notes are in key, and not necessarily because I mean we were in 9, 10, 11th grade, so I wasn't me personally. I wasn't too involved in music theory. I didn't
Right.
start getting involved until about senior year, freshman year of college. Um, and basically like just training he trained our ears to find notes, whether that be indirectly teaching us music theory or not, still up for
Mhm.
debate, but it's just a cool thing to experience, like improving solos is definitely something that everyone should experience. I think if you're just now starting an instrument, if you're 5 years in, you just haven't done it yet, I think that
Yeah.
it's a very smart thing to do.
And that's the thing. Like you'll find, at least with most guitar players, like improving solos is not like it's not like uncommon, but it's not super common to find somebody who's really good at just like hearing chords and like being able to just pick up and like solo like that,
Yeah.
and at least solo like well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I think it is more common for like a band setting or like a jazz type setting where jazz is mostly improv for one, but like
Hmm.
there's like horns and like saxophones and like those kinds of instruments are like more common to be found improving, if that makes sense.
Yeah. 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 We had our guitarists just going at it, man. Josh Rubin, if you're out there listening, shout out you. Crazy guitarist, man. One of the best I've ever heard in real life. So let's get into the band, man. So how did y'all start? How did y'all form? Tell us the background story behind it.
Well, to be honest with you, man, the band started for me when I was a freshman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the whole band is in Pylam here, right?
Yeah.
And
Pylam as in the frat at Virginia Tech,
yes,
for
yeah,
those listening.
yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, and so I pledged fall, right? Neil rushed in the spring and like he
Mm-hmm.
said that he played drums, and I was like, oh, a drummer, that'd be sick. Like
Mm-hmm.
slowly, I've just been trying to like build the band through pieces during Rush, and I found Neil
Yeah.
first, and Neil's an incredible drummer. Like I was so blessed to find somebody that good that
Yeah.
because
So how many people did you find before Neil? Is it just you?
it was just me. He was the first piece that I found,
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
and
Yeah.
to find a drummer and a good drummer like
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It,
No,
it,
you find it. Yeah. I've played with Neil multiple times. He is one of the best. He's one of the best. He's
it,
great.
exactly, and like he just fell in my lap like that, like perfect timing, right?
Yeah.
And during that rush, somebody else I didn't know at the time until like later on, like last year, but he also played guitar, so I've been working with him. His name's
Yeah.
Drew,
Drew.
like
Okay.
slowly getting him good, and then actually same pledge class like that spring with Neil, Nick, our third guitar player, he just
Hmm.
started picking up recently, and he's slowly getting in there with us.
Yeah. That's
Um,
awesome.
but yeah, so I found those pieces then, and then last spring, so I guess a year ago, like right before, maybe not even a year ago, like right before quarantine hit,
Hmm.
my roommate actually decided he was going to sing for us, like
Oh.
out of nowhere, like found out that he could.
Did you know? Did you know he was a singer?
No, had no. Well, he wasn't a singer. That's the thing. But then one day he was just like messing around with us, and he started singing, and there you go, just like that. Found.
Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. So he didn't even know he was a singer until he started fooling around with music.
Oh yeah, and like now full blown, like he is into it, and he's good. Like we were
Yeah.
looking for just anybody, and then to find somebody that we know and that we're like boys with, and
Mm-hmm.
is
You know,
good.
I
It's just
I
great.
listened to y'all's newest single. I think it's called Low Ceilings, right?
Yeah, yeah,
He's pretty good. He's pretty good. I did
yeah, yeah.
I didn't realize until
No, for sure.
that he's that brand new. That's crazy, dude.
He's yeah. I mean, so he used to sing like in his church choir or something when he was little, but other than that, like
Yeah,
no
no,
experience.
that's not that's not
Same. It's just
it's
not.
not the same. You're right, dude. Like that's crazy. All right. Yeah, I dig that. I
Yeah, and then
definitely
our
dig that.
our bass player, we call him McLovin. His name is Daniel, but for this, for the listeners out there, I'm going to refer to him as McLovin.
Keep
Uh,
referring to it as
yeah.
McLovin. Super bad
So
references. I love it.
he is a little bit younger. He's a sophomore this year. We found him last spring, same time we found Luke, the lead singer.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually got accepted to Berkeley to play bass. Like he's classically trained. Like
Wow.
he's
Okay.
good. Yeah, he's good. And we found him last spring too. So now we've got the full form band. We got cut short right before we were really taken off last semester, but now we're back at it. So
So last semester, what were y'all doing last semester?
we're really just getting everything together. To be honest with you, we had all the pieces, and we were like trying to figure out how we were
Mm-hmm.
gonna make it work.
So I want you to explain to the audience. So I know how Neil does producing in an electronic sense
Uh-huh.
without live instruments. How does that process go for y'all without it? Do y'all record everything or do you record it all at once? Take everybody through your recording process. We'll take Low Ceilings specifically.
Okay, so Low Ceilings was obviously like our first single. I've recorded with another band, but we went to like a real studio and like paid,
Yeah.
studio hours for that. And this was a little bit different for me. Like obviously, like you said, Neil's used to like a little bit of some other stuff, but pretty much what we started with is I tracked the guitar part one take all the way through, and then we slowly added pieces, right? So we had like that one bass line, and then we would just add to those parts,
Yeah.
whatever we saw fit.
Hmm.
And as
And
far
you
as
added the all of these live, or did you add
uh,
them in Logic?
we added them in Logic.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So you're
yeah.
mixing.
So we
Yeah,
don't have we
that's a
don't
good sound. No, it's
yeah,
a good sound. I like mixing. I like mixing the Logic settings with live instruments. It's a really nice sound.
yeah, we just had like a little input running, right into the computer. So I would just
Yeah.
plug my guitar straight in, like
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that's what I mean by live.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah,
I meant by live. Yeah. Okay. And then you would add in other people's instruments and keep going from there.
exactly. And Neil has like
Yeah.
electronic drums that are behind me actually.
Yeah,
And
he dusted those off for y'all. That thing has not been used in a while before he came over
really,
here. Before he came over to college, yeah, that thing was not used for a while.
that's crazy. But yeah, so he just plugged those things in and, put down the drums just like that. So
Okay, that's awesome, dude. That's
yeah.
awesome. So everything live and on time. That's a very big thing when performing live. Everyone, when you're recording something live like that, you have to be on time or it's not going to be able to go on. The fact that he did that in one loop was it's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, no.
Um, so yeah, so that's Low Ceilings. What do you have planned for the future for chimpanzees and cigarettes in general?
So like I said earlier, we're playing a gig this Saturday at a
Yeah.
brewery on Halloween. So like
Hmm.
pretty
Where
pretty
at?
similar.
Tell the audience where at.
Uh,
We're a little bit farther, but we'll see if we can swing it. Well, how far? Where is it?
uh, from where you guys are, where are you playing from?
No. I'm just saying where in general.
We're playing at Rising Cellar Brewery. It's down Main Street in Blacksburg. I've actually never been there, but I'm hoping that it's a cool venue. So, yeah, that should be cool. We go on from 6 to 7, I believe.
That's pretty
Maybe a
cool.
couple other
That's
bands
pretty
too.
cool. Yeah, so that's just like just a normal little gig. There's not like a battle of the bands type thing or anything like that.
No, no, it's just
Oh,
yeah,
that's awesome.
it's a
That's awesome.
regular gig. It's just The only thing is, it's our second gig ever. We played our first one like I guess a week ago today.
Oh, how did that go?
It went pretty well, honestly. Like way better than I expected because we had never played before, obviously, and
Yeah.
being our first gig, we'd only had like 4 days to prepare because the lady who emailed me about it was like, "Hey, somebody dropped out. Can you fill for us?"
Oh,
Obviously, I'm
that's
not
a
gonna,
big, yeah,
yeah, I'm
that's
not
a
gonna
big
turn down the
opportunity.
opportunity, but like,
Heck no, I would never turn that down.
but we had to grind to, at
Be
least
ready.
decent. And we ended up doing really well. We had like probably 150 people turn out.
That's awesome.
It was super cool. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So so
So I'm excited for this.
yeah, no, that's awesome, dude. So I actually I want to ask you like how was that performing during, especially during COVID, like in general? How was that?
So everybody there had to wear a mask, right?
Yeah.
We didn't have to because we were playing. It was outside and everything was like socially distanced.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but as far as COVID goes, everything was really not that big a deal. I feel like as far as playing in front of people, it's still nerve wracking and always will be
Still
for me.
nerve wracking.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was really wondering that because I mean, I've played in front of people through school and through other things, of course, but
right.
like just watching people be socially distanced in a crowd seems like a little off to me. But it was
Yeah,
easy though. It was not that bad.
it
I mean,
wasn't
obviously the nerves are always there, but it
right, right,
wasn't
right.
terrible. That's
No,
awesome.
it wasn't too bad. And to be honest with you, like at the very end of the show, like all of our friends that are like all of our mutual friends, I guess, like rushed the
Mm.
stage, and it was through like a school program, VTU, right?
Yeah.
And they like had to shout at everybody like, "Hey, like you can't be up here.
No.
This is distance. Like this is not okay." Like, and they were getting
Yeah.
pissed. But
Really.
other than that, it was really fine as far as COVID goes.
No, that's awesome, dude. That is awesome. So for chimpanzees and cigarettes, just in general, where do you see you guys going? You see you guys where do you see you guys in maybe 2 years? And maybe it's not that big of an ambition, but I really want to hear what y'all got cooking because I really do like what y'all are putting out.
Yeah. So to be honest with you, man, I'd love for whatever happens to happen. Like
Yeah.
I'll play it as it comes, and
Mm,
I don't know. Whatever the future holds, the future holds. But I would love for this to be something that could take me wherever in music because I don't know. I just love the music, man.
I
And
love that. I love that.
we've got 4 songs and an EP coming out.
That's
Like
awesome.
it's a good start. We've only been doing it for so long, and we've gained a good amount of clout in just like a month or two. Like we've got almost 700 followers on Instagram now. Like
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
yeah, I mean, we're doing well. We're doing well. And I recognize that, but I'm also not going to get my hopes up too much just because,
Of
it's still
course,
just
of
a
course.
dream.
Yeah. So you said 2 singles and an EP, right?
So, yeah, we've already released Low Ceilings.
Yeah.
We're about to release Locus of Control. Locus, you know, name still to be determined, but we will have
Uh
another EP or another single coming out soon. And that's my personal favorite song. Like, I think that's everybody's favorite song that's heard it. Like,
okay, okay, I'm ready.
that's definitely our best one. And then we will have an EP coming out, hopefully before Christmas. Just depends on the timing of it all. It's not easy to
Oh,
release all this music.
oh, oh, believe me, I
Yeah.
know it is not. I couldn't. I think that it's a godsend that y'all are all in the same house or on the same frat.
Oh, for sure. And
Oh my goodness, no clue is going through it right now with being away from each other for so long.
oh, you're in No Clue?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Gotcha. Yeah. Cool, cool. Yeah, I've listened to you.
yeah,
Pretty good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate that. So, couple more questions, man. Where is Grant Mayo going? What is Grant Mayo doing musically, at least?
Musically.
Yeah,
Hmm.
maybe even beyond chimpanzees and cigarettes, just in general. Where's Grant Mayo going?
I mean, to be honest with you, man, I have no idea. I just take it day by day. I just practice my guitar for a solid, who knows at this point. Whenever I'm not at school, like I'm playing guitar. So I mean, I
that
play a
that
lot.
that
Right.
might have been the most, if anyone knows a guitarist, that might have been the most guitarist answer I've ever heard in my entire life, and I love it.
I don't know. I don't know how
Take
else
it
to
a day at
put
a
it.
time,
Like
man. I love
that.
that. I love that.
That's
That-
how it
that-
is. I mean, to be
That's
completely
a
honest.
great. That's a great philosophy, man.
Yeah, I just bought
Um.
a new Telecaster yesterday. Like,
Oh heck yeah.
yeah, so I'm still very much involved, like just learning new stuff every day, trying to get better.
Yeah. So what's life like being in a band at a college?
It's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I know. I was
Cool.
really this is just off the cuff. I was just wondering this. Yeah, what's that like, man? What's that? What does that do for you guys as band in general?
I mean, to be honest, it doesn't do a whole lot, but like every once in a while, like when we released the single, we had a release party at one of my friends' apartments, and a bunch of people were there. And somehow, when the song hadn't even come out, when the chorus hit, everybody knew all the words. Everybody was singing. Everybody was
Yeah,
singing, like it was
yeah,
it's just a good vibe. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I never really thought if had you told me a year ago that that was going to happen, I'd be like, no way. My song at a party, people are singing along. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was one of those things that was like, wow, this is really cool to just see and actually experience. Um, but yeah, and then obviously people come to you and they're like, "Oh, you're in the band, like that's so cool," and they talk to you about it. But
Yeah.
not, it's not like a huge thing. It's just
No,
something on the side.
no, that's pretty cool. That's pretty freaking cool. I think you should own that. That's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so let's transition into just music in general, man.
Okay.
So what is there some highlights, some lowlights in music right now, music industry? Is there anything you want to talk about in that realm? So like for me, some
Um,
highlight. Oh, go ahead. No, you got it. Go ahead. You got something.
I was just gonna say, to be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of this whole like. This is gonna sound terrible, but like this whole lo-fi like sad boy phase that the music industry's got
Uh huh.
going on right now. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I like to play like rock guitar, man. I like to go into
Yeah.
loud solos and
Yeah.
be like out there and just play loud. And I feel like we're slowly shifting away from that style of music that used to be around
Mm.
in like even the early 2000s. But
So you think you do? So is this more of like the popularity or the actual quality of music? Do
I
you
would say
think
the
that
popularity, like the
the
popularity.
popularity of it?
Yeah.
Do you think that there's some solid rock bands that still exist?
Oh, sure. Like you got Greta Van Fleet, who I'm not like a huge listener of, but I know that they are still doing like that classic
Hmm.
rock band type thing.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
you've got the Arctic Monkeys, who are somewhat recent, but even in their most recent like albums, they've slowed it back and they're more like just chill. Even the Strokes just released an album this past summer, and
Yeah. They did. Yeah.
to me it's like it's just not the same as their first or their second, where they had all this energy and they were hype every song and like
Hmm.
they're like
You
headbangers. You know what I
you
mean?
do you do enjoy a good headbanger, and as do I. I won't lie. I am a very I'm a sucker for rock music, headbanging music. I'm honestly, and it's gonna sound like I'm differing opinions, but I'm a sucker for like not necessarily the emo side, but like a darker side of rock.
I get that.
Yeah, and not necessarily calm or anything like that, but like I don't know. I don't know. I think that rock is in a state not of panic, but just of a misidentity. They don't really know how to
It's
identify it
confusion. It's
anymore.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's a little bit of confusion. I think they're in that little median right now where they're trying to transition, but they're not too sure.
yeah, and I get that.
Yeah.
I'm
Do you
just not
think
a
they'll
huge
ever figure
fan
that
of that in
out?
transition type vibe, I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. No, I get that. Do you think
uh,
they'll ever figure that out? Do you think they'll commit to something?
I mean, to be honest, I have no idea. I feel like some of these bands are just trying to still like make money and stay popular and relevant. Like
Hmm.
the Strokes are one of my favorite bands, man. And to see them release this most recent album to me, like it's just not them, and I know it's not. And
Hmm.
I don't know why they did it. I couldn't tell you. Like
Yeah,
it just hurts me as like one of their fans to like
yeah.
listen to it now because I've seen them just go straight down. Like
Yeah, as some genres are on the rise, some of them are falling right now, you know.
yeah,
And I know a lot of country artists are not happy with this little pop country infusion. I know a lot of I mean a lot of
definitely.
hip hop people. I mean I who considers myself an avid hip hop listener. I don't necessarily like the new school, but I've come it's come to grow on me.
Right.
Um just like I mean, there's a lot of rappers I can name off, but in particular, like Lil Uzi, he's very much grown on me. He's it's his energy and vibe that attract me to him rather than his lyrics, which I used to value so high. Because I mean I am a '90s head. Like I love all '90s, all everything
Yeah, that's how
about
I
it.
am too.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's just gonna happen, like as you keep listening to it, and as even if you just are hearing it in the background or whatever, like it'll grow on you. You'll get used to it, and
yeah,
it won't be what you used to love, but you'll like it. You know what I mean? It just
yeah,
might be your favorite at some point.
yeah. Man, the Strokes, that's awesome, dude. My mom actually listens to this. Used to listen to the Strokes a lot. She was a
Really?
'90s Strokes fan. Yeah, I'm actually I'm not I'm a big fan of them. I haven't listened to their music in so long. I tried out their album. I didn't really like it. Same as
Really?
you, but you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is, man. Like
Yeah, yeah,
not everything can be good either. Like, yeah, they released a
yeah.
good album 20 years ago, but like maybe they don't even have like the potential to be good anymore.
And
Like, I don't know.
and you know what, and you know what, I can actually say that like one of my favorite bands of all time. It's gonna sound really weird because I'm a really big hip hop head. Is Blink-182. That's like one of my favorite bands like ever. I love their childish everything. I love everything about it. I love everything about that. So
Yeah.
they released they've released two albums since I think it was Enema of State, and I cannot tell you how much I don't like those albums.
That's the thing.
Like
Like, even though you're such a big fan and you want to support, it's like I don't like it. You know what I mean?
yeah, you know, like it's like it's so different, and there's a lot of rappers that and a lot of hip artists and a lot of just all across genres that stray away from their art, and I
Right.
really don't like it. But you know, I guess it's progress.
Well, sure. Sometimes I wouldn't say so. Like everybody loves Kanye, man, but like not everybody
oh,
loves Kanye's most
oh,
recent album. Like,
oh, okay. I do
so
have an interesting take on Kanye. We do not, or I personally do not condone his craziness.
oh yeah,
However, I absolutely love his music, man.
oh yeah, for sure.
I cannot rave enough about that man's music. We could have a debate about this another time, but I thought that Kids See Ghost was a decent album. I didn't think that that one was the best one. I
I like
did
that.
like
I personally actually like that album like a lot, and I'm not even
you
a
do,
huge like
yeah.
hip hop guy,
So
but
so there's a lot of songs that there's a lot of things I would change on the album, but not I don't think I would change any of the songs. There's just things within the songs I would change. But I thought about Killing You was
right, right.
I thought that was a pretty decent album. I really loved Ghost Town and like some of the things that he took samples of and threw them in. It was really just I thought that one was well made. He actually started this little thing that I really like to talk about. I think I've talked about it like every podcast. He started that I think it was 2018 with Daytona, the seven album or the seven song albums.
Okay, I
Yeah,
don't think I've heard of that.
so basically like everyone was coming out with 22 songed albums, and
Yeah,
if you know music, like you know that there's no way that you're making 22 great
quality
songs
songs. Yeah, you're just not.
within months. You're not doing that.
I
And
mean, some people can like kind of get away with it. Like I feel like Drake can release it, and even if
oh
it's
yeah,
trash, not
yeah, yeah.
trash, but like even if it's like not as good, people will still eat it up. You know what I
Oh
mean?
no, that's 100% true. But I can name like there's there's songs on I think it was not Dark Lane Demo. Man, I should have came more prepared. Let me just look it up. Um, there is one album Drake where he released like I mean I think it was like 20 at least 20 songs. Yeah, it was Scorpion and it had a front and back and it was 25 songs. Now, if I told you that Peak, Summer Games, Jaded, Finesse were all songs on that album, you would be like, no, they're not. Because they don't see that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like there's no way that you can produce that many great songs and throw them on an album. So what Kanye did, and it's had success because Daytona was nominated for album of the year. He made a 7 song album where he thought that these 7 songs were going to be hits. So he throws them all on an album and they take off. Like I think that I just really like the quality over quantity. What is your take on that?
No, I completely agree. Like at least for what we're doing now, like with chimpanzees and cigarettes, like the mentality is if we actually want to go somewhere, like make something of this, like you can't release trash, like
Yeah,
or anything that's not quality. Like,
yeah,
so we set our standard as low ceilings is like, I guess you could call it like our low ceiling. Like it's literally nothing below that. Like everything has to be at least better than that.
yep, yep.
Otherwise, we're, no improvement is.
Yeah, that I think that's the exact discussion that we had with in No Clue with after we dropped the care package. We were
Yeah.
like, nothing can be worse than that. Like nothing, like, and not necessarily to say it was bad,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
nothing can get worse than that.
No, I completely agree because as a musician, like you should be improving, and
Yeah,
same goes
you
with
should
like your
be.
songwriting skills. So I don't know.
Yeah. Are
I just
you are you a songwriter as well or no?
yeah, I mean not like in the sense of like singer songwriter where I'm writing like songs
No,
for just me, but like I write for the band.
you
Me and
do.
too. Yeah. Yeah.
Take us. I mean, take us through your process. We'll cut this back into the beginning. I just really wanted to hear this for my personal pleasure.
Gotcha. So to be honest with you, it always just starts with like chords. I'll have my guitar. If I hear a song even that I like really like and I like that progression, then I'll, play around with that, maybe change it a little bit. Then I'll start to loop it. I have like a looper pedal for my guitar, and then I'll just
Yeah.
solo over it. And then if I hit like a really like pretty lick or like a lick that I like while I'm soloing, I will think about that as a melody. If I can't get a melody that way, then I'll just kind of like hum along to like while I strum the chords. I usually play on an
Mhm.
acoustic. And then once I have like a melody and I have like a solid chord structure like throughout the entire song, I call up my man Nick Richards and I say, "Hey, write me some lyrics," because like I cannot write lyrics. Lyrics are so hard for me, and I just pass
Really?
it off to him because he's
Yeah.
good at it. Like he's really
Yeah.
good at it.
Yeah. I am the complete opposite. I like to write and not. I cannot write down chords and make harmonies and melodies with my. Oh God, it's the worst. I try to pick up the guitar a couple times and I'm just like, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't make it up in my head, but I can write song lyrics like it's clockwork.
See, that's the thing. Like lyrics for me, every time like I'll write a line, then I'll be like 5 minutes later, that's cheesy, that's corny. Like I just don't like how it sounds. Like there's
No,
so
so
many different.
sometimes you just have to go with it, man. Sometimes that's what I normally do. If it sounds corny now and it sounds corny later, then we'll take it out. If it sounds corny now and it doesn't sound corny later, we'll keep it, man. I don't know. It's all about how you say it too. You say
That's
with conviction.
for sure, exactly.
If Dr. J can say I never slip because if I'm slipped, then I'm slipping. He can get away with it, then I'm all right.
Yeah, and I get that too. I don't know. I hold myself to a higher standard, and if it's like my lyrics, dude, if it's my lyrics, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a really
No,
big critic
I
on myself.
think I think that's also something, that I've seen within No Clue. Like all of our guitarists and like beat makers,
Yeah,
they struggle writing lyrics because they want it to be perfect without being cringy.
right, exactly. Because
Yeah.
it's like you hear that cringe, and then you're like, scrap it, and then the whole thing's scrapped. You don't need to do that.
Yeah. No, no, dude. No, dude. There's a lot of things that you can get away with, like just how you say them and just how you present them. But anyway, that's awesome. That's so funny that y'all have that same connection. Even Neil
Uh,
has that.
yeah,
Me and Neil played a game where we switched. This is actually pretty fun that y'all should do that. I don't know how many if
that's
you have any other singers. We played a game where it's like we took the producers and we flipped them and made them singers and made the singers producers.
oh man.
It's a fun game to play within the band though. It's pretty
Oh,
awesome. It
I'm
produced
sure. I
it
don't know how
produced
that
some
would work out
gems.
in the band, but
It
it'd be fun
produced
to
some
see.
gems. All right, so yeah, get the audience one more recap on where y'all are performing, what's up next, and just tell them one more time.
Gotcha. So pretty much this Saturday, Halloween, we're playing at Rising Saddle Brewery in Blacksburg, going on from 6 to 7, and we got a single coming out. We were planning on Halloween so that it'd be out the day of the gig, but definitely not going to happen. Pushing that back a little bit, but should be out soon. Hopefully within the next 2 weeks, and I think everybody should like that one. It's a really well written song. We're all really big fans, so
Awesome, awesome.
That's all I really
All
got.
right, well, thank you, Grant. That was Grant Mayo, guitarist for Chimpanzees and Cigarettes. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. All right, let's go. Let's
Hey,
go
thanks
listen
for
to
having me
Low
on, man.
Ceilings. All right. Let me see.
Cats running out the days, countdown until my mind fades away. And this house wasn't built for me. Tear it down, you know I can hardly